Haggar lived a simple yet fulfilling life. Sleepy Creek, her town, was small, quiet and serene. Days were predictable, filled with the rhythmic hum of her sewing machine. She crafted beautiful things, quilts, dresses and intricate tapestries. Each stitch held a silent story, a whisper of something more profound. Haggar felt it, a current thrumming beneath the surface of her life. She had always been different, unique in her own way. As a child, her dreams were vivid, almost real. She could taste the salt spray in a dream of the ocean, feel the intense heat of the desert sun. These weren't just dreams, they were portals to other realms. And she, unknowingly, held the key to these realms. Haggar never spoke of her dreams. People wouldn't understand. They'd call her crazy, just like they did her grandmother, old Nana, with her stories of walking between worlds, of shaping reality with her mind. Back then, Haggar dismissed them as fairy tales. Now, she wondered. The realization struck slowly, like a dawning sun. It began with small, almost imperceptible things. A dream of sunflowers blooming outside her window, waking up to find them exactly where she'd dreamt them. A nightmare of a storm, the wind howling like a banshee. The next day, the town buzzing with news of a freak weather event. Coincidence? Maybe. Or the first whispers of something more, something powerful, something within her. Fear, at first. A fear so intense, it felt like icy fingers wrapping around her heart, squeezing tighter with each passing moment. A chilling fear that clawed at her throat, making it hard to breathe, hard to think. It was as if the very air around her had turned hostile. Was she going mad? Was this power a curse disguised as a gift? The questions haunted her, echoing in the silence of her room. She confided in no one, not even her childhood friend, Liam, the baker's son. The weight of her secret was too great, too strange. Liam, with his kind eyes and gentle smile, would never understand. No one would. She feared their judgment, their disbelief. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The passage of time did little to ease her anxiety. Instead, it grew, festering like an untreated wound. Haggar couldn't ignore the truth. The signs were too clear, too persistent. She had to face it, had to understand it. Her dreams were shaping her reality. Each night the boundary between the two blurred further, leaving her disoriented and afraid. She devoured dusty old books from the town library, tomes on folklore, on the subconscious mind, on the occult. She sought answers in their ancient wisdom. She found solace in their faded pages, in the whispers of forgotten knowledge. They were her only companions in this strange journey. They spoke of dream weavers, beings who could manipulate the fabric of reality through their dreams. The idea both terrified and fascinated her. Could she be one of them? The thought lingered, a tantalizing possibility that refused to be ignored. The fear began to morph, slowly into curiosity, a curiosity that burned brighter with each passing day. A burning desire to understand, to control. She needed to know the extent of her abilities, to master them. If she truly possessed this power, could she hone it, shape it? The potential was immense, the possibilities endless. Could she use it to make her life, to make her world better? The thought was intoxicating, a beacon of hope in her dark reality. The first experiments were tentative, hesitant. She started small, afraid of what might happen if she pushed too far, too fast. Dreaming of a bluebird landing on her windowsill, a simple, harmless wish. Waking up to its cheerful song. The joy it brought was indescribable, a small victory in her battle for control, a simple wish for sunshine after days of rain. She focused, visualized and hoped, the clouds parting, revealing a bright blue sky. Each success, no matter how small, was a step forward. With each success, her confidence grew, along with a sense of exhilaration that bordered on reckless abandon. She was no longer a passive observer in her own life. This power, it was intoxicating, addictive. The more she used it, the more she wanted to explore its limits. It whispered promises of endless possibilities, of rewriting her destiny with each passing night. The future seemed malleable within her grasp, but deep down, a seed of doubt lingered. Was she tampering with forces beyond her understanding? Was she playing with fire? The question gnawed at her, a constant reminder of the risks she was taking. Haggar's control grew stronger with each passing day, her influence spreading like wildfire. She dreamt of vibrant flowers blooming in the town square, transforming the drab concrete into a riot of colour. The once dull and lifeless area now burst with hues of red, yellow and purple, attracting bees and butterflies, bringing a sense of renewal and hope to the townspeople. She dreamt of the old abandoned mill coming back to life, its water wheel churning, bringing much-needed jobs and prosperity to Sleepy Creek. The mill, once a symbol of decay, now stood as a beacon of progress, its rhythmic turning a testament to the town's revival. And each morning, she'd wake to witness her dreams solidify into reality. The flowers she had envisioned now bloomed in the town square, and the mill's wheel turned steadily, providing a livelihood for many. Her creations became bolder, more intricate. Each thread she wove seemed to carry a piece of her soul, telling stories of distant lands and forgotten times. She dreamt of traveling to far-off lands, walking the Great Wall of China, exploring the Amazon rainforest. In her dreams, she felt the ancient stones beneath her feet and heard the calls of exotic birds echoing through the dense foliage. And when she woke, the memories were vivid, tangible, as if she had truly been there. The scent of the rainforest lingered in her nostrils, and the sight of the Great Wall stretched out before her mind's eye. The line between dream and reality blurred, becoming as thin and malleable as a spider's silk. She often found herself questioning what was real and what was a figment of her imagination. She began weaving tapestries inspired by her dreamscapes, surreal landscapes populated by mythical creatures, celestial bodies woven from starlight, cities floating in the clouds. Each tapestry was a window into another world, a place where the impossible became possible. Each piece pulsed with an uncanny energy, drawing viewers in, making them question the very nature of what they were seeing. The tapestries seemed to come alive, their patterns shifting and changing as if they had a life of their own. Her fame, once confined to Sleepy Creek for her exquisite needlework, began to spread. People from neighbouring towns and even distant cities heard of her extraordinary talent and the magical quality of her work. People whispered of the strange, almost magical quality of her tapestries. They spoke of how the images seemed to move and change, how the colours seemed to glow with an inner light. Art collectors, their curiosity piqued, flocked to her doorstep, eager to own a piece of her unique vision. They marvelled at the detail and depth of her work, each piece a masterpiece in its own right. Yet, with each success, a growing unease gnawed at Haggar's soul. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, that her dreams were beginning to take on a life of their own. She felt a growing disconnect from the world around her, a sense of existing on a different plane. The more she delved into her dreams, the more distant and detached she felt from reality. It was as if she was becoming untethered, drifting further and further away from the shore of reality. The dreams that once brought her joy and inspiration now seemed to pull her into a dark and unknown abyss. And the dreams, once sources of wonder and excitement, were starting to take on a darker, more ominous tone. Shadows crept into her visions, and the once vibrant colours began to fade, replaced by shades of grey and black. The mythical creatures that once danced in her dreams now seemed to lurk in the shadows, their eyes glowing with a sinister light. The nightmares began subtly, creeping into her mind like a thief in the night. Shadows stretching too long in her peripheral vision, distorting reality in the most unsettling ways. Whispers in the dead of night, her name echoing from unseen lips, sending chills down her spine. Then they escalated, becoming more vivid, more terrifying, as if her mind was a canvas for horrors. Grotesque creatures with glowing eyes hunted her through twisted forests, their presence a constant threat. The once familiar streets of Sleepy Creek transformed into crumbling ruins under a blood-red sky, a nightmarish landscape. And the nightmares, she discovered with a growing sense of dread, were bleeding into her waking life, blurring the lines between dream and reality. People she dreamt of getting hurt suffered minor accidents as if her dreams were premonitions. Arguments she had in the dream realm manifested as tense silences and unspoken resentments in her waking hours, creating rifts in her relationships. Her control, once so exhilarating, was slipping. The threads were unraveling and she felt powerless to stop it. The townsfolk, once charmed by her eccentricities and her beautiful creations, now eyed her with suspicion, their trust eroding. The whispers turned from admiration to fear as rumors spread like wildfire. They talked of curses, of deals made with dark forces, painting her as a villain in their stories. They blamed her for the string of misfortunes that had befallen Sleepy Creek, their accusations growing louder and more insistent. Haggar retreated further into herself, her once vibrant workshop becoming a sanctuary, a fortress against the growing darkness, a place where she could hide from the world. She tried to regain control, to shut off the flow of her powers, but it was like trying to hold back a tidal wave, an impossible task. The dreams were becoming too powerful, too consuming, pulling her deeper into their grasp. She was losing herself in their depths, and the line between creator and creation was fading fast, leaving her adrift in a sea of confusion. The realization hit her with the force of a physical blow, a moment of clarity amidst the chaos. She had become a prisoner of her own making, trapped in a web spun from her deepest fears and desires, a cage of her own design. And the worst part was, she wasn't sure if she could find her way back, the path ahead shrouded in darkness and uncertainty. She longed for the days when her dreams were just dreams, and her creations brought joy instead of fear. Now she stood at a crossroads, faced with a choice that could change everything. With a deep breath, she resolved to confront her fears, to reclaim her life from the shadows. She took the first step towards the light, hoping that it would lead her back to herself, to a place where dreams and reality could coexist in harmony.